Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for the 14th of April. So whilst we're back now after our Easter break, we take a look at what's been going on over the Easter period in world economics. We've seen the OPEC plus deal, I should say, come to some sort of conclusion on a production cut of some 10 million barrels of crude a day. That doesn't seem to have had a great deal of impact on the price of oil. We've also seen an improvement in a lot of European countries with the coronavirus pandemic. And I think the main question that is going to be on traders' lips and focus at this morning is going to be whether the risk on sentiment that we've been seeing in the markets over the Easter period and in the run up to it is strong enough to remain now that all traders are back to work. So let's take a look at a few markets here that we're keeping a close eye on in the trading room at the start of this week. So if we come and take a look at the US indices, first of all, and this is the Dow Futures contract. And if we have a look at this bit better, maybe on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that the market has broken through the 23,300 level. This level was a level we discussed many times over the past few weeks as the market approached it. It's a very significant price point. It's particularly strong on the weekly chart. And now you can see the market actually managed to get through here on weak volume. So it managed to get through, almost test our next level at 24,000. Let's call it that it did. It's virtually there. It slipped back into that strong level again to find support, and now the market started to lift again. The only concern that I would suggest here is that whilst we've got a fairly nice trend forming, and we can't ignore that, we have got weaker momentum coming into the markets as well. So I'll certainly be interested to see how this next leg of the move occurs, and I think that will be sort of determined on what happens once the US opens up. You know, is this market going to sort of break underneath these lows? If it does take out these lows and this 4-hour trend breaks, we could start to see some of these lower levels get tested. Otherwise, we might start to see a retest and a break here of that 24,000 level. If we come and take a look at gold here as well, gold also started to look extremely nice and starting to react back a bit more the way we would expect it to be operating as well. So gold here now starting to move sort of quite nicely on the 4-hour time frame. And the mid time frames here, we've got some fairly decent structured trends. If we get some sort of pullback into these sort of interesting levels, I could look for nice sort of entry points and sort of positioning. Certainly sort of 1750 at the moment, 1745, 1750 at the moment is looking particularly nice if the market sort of retraced back into this area. It's still got good strong momentum on this market and on this trend at the moment. And even some of the lower time frames are still starting to look a little bit more interesting too. From a trade entry perspective on this market, I'd prefer to see some kind of entry on the 4-hour time frame if I could, because of the not so sort of smooth action here on this market. If we took a look at silver, silver's reacting very, very similar to gold, but it's not quite as easy to trade at the moment. It's sort of a lot more sort of volatile, and the price action looks a lot more sort of technical and a lot more sort of smoother on that sort of gold market. Coming to the currency markets, though, we're seeing quite a bit of weakness now coming into the US dollar. So a lot of these dollar markets are starting to look rather interesting. Markets like cable, euro dollar, even the Aussie dollar, and particularly the Kiwi here. So out of the bunch, I'm preferring the Kiwi. And if we take a look at this from the higher time frames, we can see that the market's now nicely within a trading window here on the daily time frame. Possibly up here to the top end of this is around that sort of 62 level, and there's plenty of distance for the market to go if the sort of upward momentum continues. If we come to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that the market, that this particular market has broken out nicely from this level here. You can see around sort of 61 where there's been previous support all the way through here, previous resistance, and now the market's broken above there, and this area is acting as support for the market. We're not overextended on these mid time frames. We've got good convergence on the indicators as well at this moment in time, and coming down to some of these lower time frames, the market's starting to look sort of a little bit more interesting around these sort of areas. So rejection of these levels. Looking for positioning here to see if we can get a continuation of the Kiwi dollar long trend here. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on in the trading room at the start of this week. I certainly hope it helps and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.